So if you ever wanted to learn copy from a very pink guy, today is your chance, because this weekend I was out at the wine region of the country I'm staying at with some locals, and I got roasted and toasted by the sun because I'm very fair skinned, so that was fun. But I guess that's the price you pay when you don't wear sunscreen and you get burned by the sun. But anyways, today I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to build an email list and the step-by-step program that I use to build email lists for clients, to write indoctrination sequences and get them into the brand, to make sure that the emails are getting opened, clicked, and bought from, and also to track them and make sure that you're getting the best conversion rates on your emails that you can possibly get, and by crafting basically the best copy that you can deliver for the client or that you can build in your own brand. So sit tight, because today I'm going to give you the exact steps on how to build your email list from 0 to 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 subscribers and upward, so you can have a very tangible asset that you can launch products to, service to over and over and over, and always have that audience that's the core that really supports your brand and helps you grow. So check it out today. So here's the thing. If you have a big problem with looking at your email inbox or the subscriber base in your CRM and seeing that there's just a bunch of cobwebs all over it and it's a ghost town and you got like 3 people and one's your mom and the other one's your brother, and then you have the third person that maybe was luckily just to find your site and just stumble upon it and sign up, there's a few things that you can do to fix that, because I think that most people go about building email lists completely wrong. They really have no idea because they have no structure, they have no baseline for understanding what you actually do to build the list, they have no content, they have no strategy to actually deliver that content, and they really don't know what they're doing overall. So maybe over the several years, they might have a few hundred people or something, which is obviously growing your email list way too slow. And essentially what you need to do is speed that process up so you can get immediate data and feedback on the people who are actually subscribing to you and why they're there, what they want to hear from you, and basically never have a ghost town of an inbox again, because you basically really need to have that asset, which is the deliverable that you're sending, which could be your own little we're gonna hop into this, but your lead magnets, your indoctrination sequences, your nurturing sequences, the things that you need to send out, and then of course sales emails. If you're in e-commerce, you need the abandoned cart and follow up and all that stuff. And if you're not doing this, you're really behind the 8 ball, and this is the reason why you have no list and why the people are engaging, or there are too many people aren't subscribing, because maybe you're boring, you're not sending enough, and we're not developing that relationship one-on-one between you and your subscribers. So this is the basic thing about really crafting, like in 2020, but also even 10 years ago, and hopefully 10 years in the future, in 2030, I think that this is still going to be relevant, because it beats the crap out of social media, beats the crap out of like SMS and texting and whatnot. It beats the crap out of like calling people or trying to like bang the phones and hit people up with offers that they're not interested in. Like, an email list is such an asset for your business. It's essentially the combination of buyers and of leads. So you want to, I'll show you in this 5-step process, but basically you will want to separate these people from leads and buyers and make sure that you can hit your buyers with more upsells and be able to sell them better products, and more of that relationship can be built through you delivering value through your products and services. But most people, they just create the site and then they say join our newsletter, which of course nobody really cares about because it's boring and it doesn't offer anything to them. So I'm going to show you exactly how to build the list step by step, and I'm using a 5-step program, and it's very similar. It's basically the formula that I go through by building the list for myself and my clients, and also crafting lists that are profitable and valuable and engaged, and also not just huge lists of hundreds of thousands of people that may or may not be interested or what you're selling, and they may not be interested in your brand, but they are just sitting there and they're not unsubscribing because maybe you're not hitting them enough with the offers and things like that. Here's a little key, to be honest. I would rather have like 1,000 or even maybe 500 super loyal audience members and engaged subscribers who are just like gung-ho about my brand and my products and services, whatever they are, or the client services, for them when I'm consulting with them. And I would rather have that than maybe 500,000 of just some random names and just some people here and there. Like, everyone likes to brag about their email list and the size of their opens and click-through rates and all the ratings that they're getting and whatnot for those conversion metrics. But the thing is you need to have a core group. Tim Ferriss has popularized this one blog post called 1,000 True Fans by another guy that I'm drawing the blank on. But basically, he's saying that you need 1,000 true fans to make any brand grow to 1 million and past, because 1 million a year in the revenue and past. Because essentially, if you can do this, you can craft anything that you want and send them to that's valuable to them, obviously, and sell them the products and services to basically deepen and further that relationship with that lead list that you have. And so I just want you to think, switch your mind frame on this one a little bit, that an email list is a brand asset for your company. and it's so powerful to be able to hit people over and over with things that they're relevant and interested to them, and you're sending offers and upsells and like cross sells, and maybe you have different things that are events or audience members that can get together and form communities and things like that. Like it's just such an asset in so many different ways for your brand. And so I'm going to show you exactly my 5-step formula for basically breaking this down and building an email list from zero and getting you to scale to whatever your numbers are. So yeah, once again, welcome to the video. And like I said, if you like this or share this or comment below, you're welcome to do all three. Make sure that you subscribe on this channel, because there's going to be so much in the future, in the very near future, dripping every single week to show you the deep dives of each step of this video. So this video, we're gonna do the whole broad overview. It's gonna be a longer form content video, and you can stay for however long you'd like and enjoy it, but there's also gonna be those 5 follow-up videos that are gonna be dripped to you, so you can see exactly the deep dive on each step of the building the email list that you need. So I'm gonna be sharing that through the following weeks. So subscribe to this channel and like the video, hit the big thumbs up, and smash and obliterate and just click the hell out of it, like whatever you gotta do to make sure that this circulates around the interwebs, because this is how the brand grows. This is how I'm able to assert more time and valuable information and energy to this brand, so you can learn more content for free like this on YouTube and from my site, my blogs and whatever. So also there's gonna be so much more copywriting stuff about how to land new clients, find new clients, where to get them, how to sell them, what to price, how to charge your stuff. Like there's so many different things that I'm gonna teach you about copywriting in the following weeks and months, that I want you to be subscribed and hit the bell so that you actually get the notification, because some people are subscribed, they don't get the notification, and they don't see future videos, which sucks for them and for me. So I'd say just hit the win-win button, the like and subscribe and do all that, share the content, feel free to comment. You're welcome to do whatever. Share this with your cat and your dog and dolphin, your mom and dad, and whoever's into marketing and copy. Tell them about this dude Evan in Motive Emotion talking to you about copywriting. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so there's mainly 5 steps that you'll need to build your email list and make sure that it's profitable, people open, click, subscribe, and they're actually engaged in buying things from you when you're selling them. So there's 5 major things. These are the keys and the viewpoints and the mindset shifts, the paradigm shifts, if you will, and then actionable strategies backing those up that you need to build an email list from 0 subscribers to 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever you're looking for. And again, like I said, it's more valuable to have a very tight, engaged, smaller list that loves you and just wants to buy everything that you sell and is in your community, is dropping posts, engaging with other people in your community and your audience. And that is far more valuable than 100,000 names of some random people that may or may not be loosely interested or engaged around the things that you're trying to talk to them about. But no matter what, like, you need to build the list to have that asset, and the number 1 step to doing that is to build a lead magnet out, okay? So the lead magnet is essentially what it sounds like, right? It's attracting leads from the internet and all around the globe to your offers and your audience and your members in the community and your value proposition and unique selling points that are attractive to that person, right? So the lead magnet could be one in many formats, okay? We're talking a PDF that's a downloadable PDF that gives them some how-to step about how to do what they're trying to do. I'll give you some examples in a bit. Number 2, it could be a short video series, maybe 3 or 4 videos that gives them the exact step-by-step things that are a little bit of an intro to your brand and what you're offering them. So you give them a bunch of educational value and content for free, and then they sign up for that stuff and you grab their email address. Number 3, it could be a white paper. This works really well for like crypto and tech industries and even finance and whatnot, because you're talking about investing strategies, you're talking about your software business maybe, you're talking about the value prop that you have, but not just hard selling. So remember that this is not the hard sell point, right? This is the educational, give free value away point, and you'll want to sell them basically to sign up for that list. And I'll show you what a splash page looks like. I'm just going to throw a couple of examples up on the screen here so you can see the actual splash page examples and what they might look like for your brand, and then you can see the colors and branding and whatnot, and the kind of calls to action. And of course, I'll throw my own up there as well so you can see what mine look like for some of my offers. But essentially, you can choose which you would like to use and what kind of format you want to use. But generally, you can see the common theme of these splash pages is that they are going through different formats, but they're really keeping the same thing usually. It's like the images on the left, you know, got your sign up box on the right. Basically grabbing the information on that person within their name and email usually, which is the best format, but giving them something in exchange for that, right? Could also be a little webinar or something that you have, right, to get them to opt in and do a live webinar or a replay, and that is a good way to grab leads as well. It could also be an in-depth video training. So there we have it. Those are 5 basic ways that you can easily grab email addresses from people, your leads, your list, you know, build your list from zero and start grabbing that email address from the person by offering them some unique value and something about your brand that gives them something that they can actually use rather than just kind of read and think it's exciting, right? So let me break down some examples for you, right? Okay, so let's say you're a designer, right? You're a brand and graphic designer, right? And you help people positioning their brands in the marketplace to stand out and to have great branding and beautiful design for their site and for their, you know, the deliverables, the logos, the stationery, the emails that they're sending out, the brand templates, right? Whatever, you're helping with them, right? You would design something very simple that's easy for you to do because you're a designer, which is like a 3 or 4 page PDF per se, and that would be your lead magnet by offering them exactly how to, you know, set up 4 brand pillars or something like that, right? And maybe these brand pillars would be like, you know, number 1, your logo and your branding. Number 2, your color palette. Number 3 is your, I don't know, your website, right? The fonts. Number 4 could be, you know, your offers and how you're gonna actually position yourself to get business for that client, right? So not you, but I mean, you're the designer, so maybe your clients, maybe you're serving like real estate or you're serving the finance niches or something like that, and you wanna help your clients learn how to not only position themselves well and look great while doing it in their brand, but also like help them with their offers or whatever. So you set up your own brand guidelines where you have 4 things that you take through with every client, right? And you give that away as a free lead magnet PDF. And it's a beautiful branded design, you know, thing. It's got a call to action at the bottom. It's got your picture and your logo and some of your old works and some of your, you know, portfolio. And you're basically giving those free 4 brand pillar designs away by saying, hey, look, so first of all, what you want to do is to just design a great logo. You need to have something that incorporates your brand, your strategy, your styling, and also something that fits what you're doing. You know, maybe if you're serving like a sailing industry or something like that, right? You might have like an anchor wheel or the steering wheel for the old sailboats, right? Something old and classy, or like a sail, right? A sail logo and maybe something like that. Like you would be talking to them specifically about who you're serving rather than just kind of throwing out everything for everywhere, you know, to download. Because also, another key is that the more specific you can get, the better that you can have the conversion rate happen, because also you're targeting people who are willing to pay, you know, later down the road, rather than just saying like, here's some stuff for free and just download it and I have this huge list of people that are kind of not really tightly related. That's really not what you want to do, right? So that's step 1 really, is you want to grab the lead magnet or design the lead magnet and grab emails with it essentially, right? You want to make your own splash page and your opt-in page. These are also called squeeze pages, and you basically want to just give them something very clean and simple and basic, and I'll give you some more examples as well. But you want to have the form usually on the right, like I said, and the images on the left. And so the images should be very clean and they should be very simple, and then they should know exactly, communicate exactly what you are giving them, right? And then the opt-in, the call to action and whatnot, the headline. Like I'll show you those examples. Those are simple ones that you can kind of model off of, but you can find these all around the internet. And now that you know this, you're gonna be starting to see this everywhere around the online. Like you will be like, oh, that's a squeeze page, that's a squeeze page. Oh, this is what they're offering for that. Like, cool, this is how they're building their list. This is one vertical that they might be working on for one service providing, right? One offering that they have in their own little niche, right? So that's going to be great, because when you have that mindset tuned to that, you'll be able to see. It's kind of like using your RAS, your reticular activation system, to notice every single thing in the future that pertains to that idea. So that's number 1. Let me give you a couple more examples before we move on, right? So as I mentioned before, it really depends on your industry. So let's say you're in the software industry, right? A lead magnet with a PDF thing for the branding, that might not work super well. You know, what might work better, or if maybe in your tech, software or crypto, like that type of area, it might be a good idea to just offer something that's like a white paper, right? So it tells you, it's not boring. You don't want it to make it all, you know, logical, like a description of your product, and make it like size 12 font and make it 20 pages or something. Like nobody's gonna read through that, but some people might, but those people are gonna be the super engaged, like 0.1%, you know, that might really just buy everything. But you wanna have it a little bit more wide on the front end, right? Because if you're looking at the funnel really starts with capturing leads. And I can throw some examples on the screen off this, but essentially, the funnel is very wide at the top, right? The mouth of that funnel is very wide. So that's called TOF, or top of funnel. And once it gets towards the middle, or the middle of the funnel, you are really nurturing people a lot more with your stories and your education and your value and your content. And we'll get into this in step 2 and 3 a lot more. But basically you are nurturing these people in the middle of the road, right? And then at the bottom, you can see it gets very small. It's basically the bottom of the funnel, or BOF, where people are really engaged. They're buying almost everything that you have. A lot of people have fallen off at this point, or unsubscribed, or disengaged, but that's exactly okay, because it's exactly what you want. So you want people to actually disappear. You want them to go away. You want people who are not that interested to just leave. And you want the people who are engaged, want to just soak up everything you have to say and have to offer, and buy everything. Like those guys and gals, you want them around for the long term. That's your brand, that's your audience, those are your people, right? So essentially, when you are having this 3-step TOF, MOF, and BOF, top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel, you're recognizing that the top of the funnel is extremely wide, right? It's like that. The mouth of the funnel is just like catching all the types of people who are maybe broadly related to your topic. So when we're going back to the tech example, when we have a white paper, we might talk about the software and how great it is, but most importantly, we might talk about the white paper's points of how valuable it is to solve these problems, right? How annoying and frustrating these problems are when people are dealing with like slow software or bad API calls or whatever it might be in the software that's like junky and kind of like what's the word, janky, right? I guess janky would be better. That's a better way to say it, right? They're kind of just things that don't work properly in people's software, and things that the devs get very annoyed with, and the audience that's actually using them for B2B or B2C communications, whether it's a CRM or a hosting platform or whatever. They're just solving those problems. You could talk about how your software is actually fixing that, right? Or how your cryptocurrency is like mixing the best elements between two cryptos, and maybe like, okay, this crypto was awesome, but it didn't have this feature. It was like privacy features were lacking, but this one is like slow to exchange and has great privacy or something like that. So we built something in the middle where you're able to have the privacy that you want and protect the transactions on the blockchain or whatever, and be able to have the privacy that you want, but also have the quick transaction speeds and low fees, right? Transaction fees, right? It's like that's something that you'd be wanted to talk about, right? So the white paper, the webinar, the live replays, the video courses, the lead magnet PDFs, like whatever you're sending on your front end lead magnet for this first step, is you want to actually just give value and education and stuff for free. You literally just want to be like gift wrapping and be like, here you go, like enjoy that, we love you. Like that's what you want to do. You don't want to be hard selling, you don't want to be pitching. You want to maybe soft introduce your product or your service or some offering that's going to come up, like foreshadowing the offer that may come up in the future. But you don't want to be like, all right, great, thanks for joining our list, so like buy this now, like you should check this out, like get it, come on, like click, oh, it's going to blow up if you don't grab it now. Like don't want to do that. That's the opposite. And actually it reminds me of the decompression zones, is a little tangent, but in the stores, retail stores like Old Navy and whatnot, they have this great technique where you walk into the store, and if you notice, it's all open and comfortable and just like cozy, but you have all the space, like Hollister, Old Navy, Target. You go in those places and you're like, I got all the space in the world to like browse. You look at the signage and you look where you'd like to go. Home Depot does the same thing, Lowe's. You look at these places and you're like, wow, like 30 feet that way is like, number 12 where they have the paints, and then 500 feet that way and around the corner is the nature and the whole gardening aspects of the things. Like that's how you want to do. You're like, what do I want? Because you're at ease, you're at peace, you're shopping on your own schedule. This is exactly what you want to do with your lead magnet. You want to be like, hey, welcome to us, welcome to our brand. This is who we are, and we're glad you're here, and here's a lot of value for free, and we're not asking for anything at all, and we have some stuff for sale, sure, but like we're not even going to worry about that right now. We're just intro it. And I'll talk to you about that also in step 2, step 3, where we're talking about indoctrination and value and giving the education and whatnot, how to keep it fun and really engaging, but also very like sales focused in a soft pitching type of way, to really get those leads taking action and buying from you. But this is not the stage to do that. Because your number one key here, and this is a writer downer, like the number one key here is to build rapport in the relationship with the person and create goodwill by front loading all the value that you have for them, like giving them a bunch of stuff for free, making it awesome, making it super valuable, giving some of your best stuff even away for free, and front loading the value and goodwill and rapport so they have a great taste in their mouth for the brand that you have and the offering, and kind of doing the decompression zone like the stores will do in the retail, where you are giving them all the space that they need to just check out anything that you have, like welcome to the site, welcome to our social communities and all that stuff, and welcome to our list, and engage with the community and do your thing. But you're not hard pitching, you're not fast selling, you're not doing any of that stuff. You're not like really trying to get anything from you. You're just giving, okay? So keep that in mind for number one. And again, by the way, I'm gonna switch over to number two, but I just would think if you really are getting value for this video, it would be a great idea to grab a pen and pad, because this is a longer form content. And if you want to grab a pen and pad and actually take some notes on this, you can look at the notes later on while you're building your list and while you're running traffic or like putting it around the web and driving people to that offer and basically building the list. Like if you don't want to forget this, then I would just pause the video if I were you, go grab a pen and pad, get some notes, and actually use this stuff, because I'm not just talking for my health. Like I want to actually give you value to be able to use it later on for your own business. So go grab a pen and pad. In the meantime, when you're doing that, maybe smash the like button, subscribe, because again, there's going to be so much more content. There's going to be so much more stuff that's like talking to you about specific tactics and strategies to build your email list from zero, and be showing you everything like front to back. So anyways, as we move on to number two, this really is the indoctrination sequence. All right, so number two, this is called the indoctrination sequence, and this is the real secret to build your own cult, okay? They call it the indoctrination sequence because they're borrowing something from cult terminology. I don't know why it's called that, but you do really want the brand loyal subscribers who love you and who want to buy everything and drink the Kool-Aid together, like with your brand, because it really is a psychological tactic to use, because people are inside or outside, right? It's us versus them. It's a very powerful marketing technique to be able to say, here's part of this group. If you're part of this the social tribe, basically the community, then you're saying no to other groups as well, and you're kind of on the outside of certain things because of what your beliefs align with. So this comes down to your messaging, your branding, and your positioning, as well as your copy, obviously. So you're communicating all those three things through that, right? So that makes perfect sense with getting people in and keeping them there. But this is why basically that they call it the indoctrination sequence, because this is the intro sequence that you are using to indoctrinate them on your brand, which is who you are, what you believe in, what you stand for, what you're against, who you don't resonate with, and what you are trying to create in the future, and what's more sustainable for them to be around long term. So they're actually enjoying your brand, they're getting value long term, they're buying your products, and they're really part of the community. Because remember, this goes way leagues beyond selling products and services to people and just pushing stuff in their face. Like this is not how you do business. This is not how you market well. You want to do pull marketing, you want to be soft selling, you want to be approaching them with ease and then confidence, and also delivering legitimate, tangible value to them. And that's how you make a tribe. So that's why they really borrow this cult-like terminology from indoctrination sequence, because you want to get them to know who you are and what you're about and what you won't stand for and what your brand does not do and who you are not, right? This is very important because you want to polarize the audience to be like, are you with us or are you out? Because you don't want gray matter people. Like you don't want people who are somewhere in the middle. The people who are like, yeah, I could really give a crap about your brand. That's cool. I mean, whatever. Like, I don't know. I see this every once in a while in my inbox. It's all right. Like, it's not that engaging. I'm like, I don't know. It's cool. Whatever. Like you want people to be like, I love you or I hate you. Like that's where you want to be. You want to be on the spectrum. If your people hate you, great, fine. That's totally cool. That means that just a proportionate amount of people will love your stuff. Like those people that hate you will go on. Maybe they'll give you free marketing by hating you and hating on you everywhere. I'm giving you posts on social media or whatever, and like giving you word of mouth essentially. The other people who will love you will be that much more engaged and talk to those people on social as well and say, no, you're wrong. This is great. This is why they're so awesome. They have these people and this and that, this feature. This is what I love. And that's, they're going to make their own kind of like disagreements or debates on social or whatever, which is also pumping up your brand. So that's kind of like a third party or third level effect of your value that you're creating and in the community, because that means that other things are going on in other ways and giving you word of mouth marketing, giving them back to the brand, which brings in more people who hate you or love you, and you don't want the middle ground people who are like, yeah, I could care, like less really, like you're cool, it's great, whatever, it's not really for me, or it is kind of for me, I watch every once in a while. That's not who you want at all. Like I could probably see that. You want people who are polarized and they hate you or you love you. So this is the sequence that is giving them the 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 emails. I tend to stick between 3 and 5. It depends on the brand, it depends on the offering and all that, and the positioning and the vertical that they're serving, of course. But this really should be at least like 2 or 3 emails, 2 or 3, and making sure that you are telling them exactly who you are, what you stand for, what your brand is about, who you like and who you love and who you dislike, and trying to form away from, right? Like a lot of people are interested in another example of the crypto space, right? They really hate the banks, right? The banks and the centralized providers of holding our money and printing new money like the Fed with billions of dollars in the new economy, like essentially, you know, responding or over responding to the COVID crisis and things like that. That is, you know, something that people with crypto are really passionate about. They're like, we don't like the banks, we don't like centralized providers, or for our money, actually, you know, lacking control, giving us the lacking control over our own finance and our own money, and we want to be able to send with no intermediaries and no privacy and no censorship. So like people in crypto like hate the banks. So it's like if you're building a new crypto, again, to build on the last example, maybe you have your white paper out there for the lead magnet and you're giving them that, but then, you know, you also are harping on the hatred that you have for the banks, you know, not actual serious hatred for anyone. Like hopefully you don't really actually hate anyone, but like you are trying to build a new economy with a new alternative way of payments. You know, that's just an example. Another one would be like the fitness industry. If you really like, if you hate the people who can just like, or you hate like how people can just like get into easy shape so well, and you have like an enemy, you know, the enemy is like, you know, maybe even you know, sugary, crappy foods that aren't good for you, right? And those things are horrible for your diet and weight loss goals, and so that could be the hatred of the enemy. You know, you hate cupcakes and cakes and, you know, pastries and like all this crap that isn't good for you, right? Like that's the stuff that's like your bane of your existence, like your enemy, because your taste buds are so tuned to that stuff and so attuned to those horrible things that are so delicious and great for you, that a lot of healthy people don't really have. They don't like have a super huge craving because usually they generally eat healthy foods. For instance, this is a good example of the polarization, right? If you're talking to a person who's fit and healthy and strong and lean and whatever, they're gonna be like, yeah, I don't really hate cupcakes. I mean, I don't really have a problem with cupcakes because they're all right. I'll have them every once in a while. But someone who is like a little bit overweight, they're gonna be like, yeah, I hate how I cannot ever like deny those foods and I just keep staying on my weight and I never get into the gym because I feel so guilty or whatever, right? Or I'm embarrassed to walk into the gym. Like those are the emotional underlying needs that we always talk about, those drivers that get people to take action in the human psyche. And these are so powerful to harp on, especially when you're polarizing people. So that is very, very important to remember. So this is a good few examples basically. So for the indoctrination sequence about what this is looking like, you know, you're introducing your brand, you're telling who you are, you're telling what you do, why you're special, why you're different, and who you are talking to. You know, you need to know who your target market is again, and you need to have the audience members like very engaged, right? So that's basically number 2. And also, I wanted to tell you that if you are really interested in these videos, you can check out all 5 videos that I'm actually releasing in the near future from this video that are going to be linked back to this video and whatnot. But essentially, I'm going to be covering number 1 very, very in depth, like about the lead magnets. And then for this step, right, number 2, I'm going to be covering the in-depth step-by-step indoctrination sequence, right? So I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do it and peeling back the curtain on the process on each one of those videos that are related to this series of the formula that's 5 steps essentially of building an email list. So just wanted to throw it out there. And then by the way, while you're on this, like and subscribe to the video, and asking you a lot because I know that this is to help the channel grow and this is what's good for the algorithm. So whatever you got to do for that, I'm gonna help this channel grow, and you can help this channel grow by doing those things, and then I'll just be able to obviously assert more time and value to being able to create these videos for you. So let's move on to number 3, which is basically you know, testing your offers and your sales and your products by giving them the value that is educational and also is delivering into the next stage. But before I do, I want to tell you these 2 steps to add on to the number 2, which is essentially you always need to have a combination of education and entertainment. So those 2 E's, if you can remember those, write those down again if you're taking notes. Education and entertainment both need to be intertwined, which what I call like edutainment. Like I didn't make this up, but this is definitely what I use for my programs. Always would you want to craft something that is educational and entertaining, because when you're doing only entertainment, you're gonna just be like the song and dance man and kind of like a clown and just sending stuff that people are like, yeah, that's funny and cool and whatever, but they're never going any next steps. If you only do educational, and I've learned this the hard way by, you know, just having stuff fall on deaf ears because I was just being too boring or whatever, trying to give so much value in the form of value, but I was looking at my form of value is different from their form of value, right? So only education, unless you have a very logical, technical-minded thinker, which is very rare in our population. They definitely do exist, and some people really appreciate the no fluff, no BS approaches. But if you only give education, there's a very select amount of people who respond to that, and they really don't like it long term. So I would say it's very important to merge these 2 and always give them educational value and entertainment. And the second thing that I want to tell you is that you always need to have a call to action. Okay, so like always, do you have the CTA at the end of your post, your email, whatever? You always want to be driving them deeper into more value, more entertainment, more engagement, right? So maybe it's like, click this to check this out, or click here to read this blog post, or sign up for our other list where you get notified about blah, 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 right? Or maybe like, check out our new product that we just released, blah, 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 blah. Not like how the price is or what it is or whatever, like just the basics of stuff, and then sending them to the sales page, which does your selling for you, which is another tip where you basically want to do, the intro to what it is in your call to action in your email, but you want to do the selling on your page. So that's just another thing that I learned from Dan Kennedy as well. But you really want to have the educational value and the entertainment, and you want to always have a CTA. So you have a call to action to them, telling them what to do exactly next, so you can always deeper that relationship. So let's move on to number 3, which is basically testing your offers and your products and your sales points in your new pitches and engagement. All right, so you basically have the indoctrination sequence. That's done. That's like 3 to 5 emails telling them, what you're about, who you don't like, what you do like, what you serve and what you offer, and who you're targeting, right? And they're very comfortable with your brand. Now it's time to actually start peppering in those offers and those pitches for things that you are selling, because remember, you never want to, with direct response, get sidetracked from the mission. Your mission is always the priority. The priority is always direct response. The direct response is to get the direct response from your audience and your target members to know how to give them value and education, entertainment, but also capture the value, right? So you're not just in a charity. This isn't the charity or the Red Cross or whatever. Like, you want to actually, build this business, and you're making an asset, which is the email list, to send them over and over and develop the relationship one-on-one with the person, the audience, because you have maybe 1,000 or 10,000 people in your list, but you are still writing for one-on-one, right? And you are really talking to one person at all times. And so that's what you want to be doing. So when you're giving them educational, entertaining value, you are always calling them to action to draw them back to the site, and your main purpose for doing this is to build your business by selling your products and services, right? So never get sidetracked from the main issue, which is your main priority of selling products and delivering valuable solutions for people who are in the market looking for them, right? That's simple. So when you're doing this, you really want to test your offers in terms of like what sells well and what is your best flagship product and what is your offering that you may have as a service provider, and how to position it and how to, kind of get people into certain verticals in terms of what they're looking for. So maybe, and also this goes to a little bit deeper. We'll talk about this in the other video where I'm talking about the number 3 in this 5-step formula. But we'll talk all about like segmentation and how to get people in certain verticals, and like maybe offering different lead magnets for different verticals and different funnels, right? We can go really deep in that video, and we will. But like basically, you are wanting to pepper them with education and value, and then of course capture the value while actually getting them on the next stages of things, right? So maybe that looks like a sale for you. Maybe it's looking like signing up for a monthly membership, giving your credit card information and putting them into the system, right? Maybe it looks like getting them on a down payment for your live events, which is another great one, where you can get $500 back from them to secure their spot and hold their chair in the event that you're throwing, or the seminar, or whatever it may be, or for coaching, group coaching, whatever, right? These are the things that you are giving them and then taking one thing from them. It's not like a take, it's not like an ask, because you've already front loaded them with all this value, remember? So in your number 1 step, you've basically already given them the lead magnet. Number 2, you've already indoctrinated them with things where they're educating and valuable to them. And so education and entertainment, mixed and edutainment, and you are delivering that value. And then now you're doing the first like soft ask, where it's like, check this link out. It's like kind of like just putting it there, right? It's not like a hard sell, like do it like this, the countdown timer, everything, we better click it or the internet's gonna blow up. Like, you don't need to do that. Again, you can if you want, if you're doing like really short time offers and whatnot. Some of those work, like the ClickBank and affiliate stuff. Like, okay, if you're in that vertical, like do your thing. But if you're in building a long list of long-term relevant subscribers who are engaged in your brand and love you, then you want to really never turn them off. You want to only turn off the people who are not interested and who are also not into your brand or in your market, perhaps, right? So when you're doing the step 3 of actually giving the value to them and then capturing it, what it looks like is you are sending things that are relevant to them, but also peppering in little offers here and there. So maybe you say something like this, right? You said, we just recorded a 10-minute video here about how to get out of your credit card debt, and basically the number 1 strategy for paying down each card and making sure that you're not getting deeper into debt when you're paying them off. So you should check that out right here. And that video is like a sales page, or it's on the top of a sales page where you're saying, would you like to get out of credit card debt? and watch this 10-minute video and make sure that you can grasp the points in there and have like timestamps or whatever, so they know that what they would like to deliver for themselves, or what they would like to cherry pick that's valuable to them, so they won't waste time like reading things that aren't valuable to them. And on that sales page, you may have your offer, like you positioned your offer in a sharp way to help you get out of debt, with your little hook of like not actually having to get deeper into debt by paying the other cards in this vicious cycle that a lot of people do when they're in debt. They pay one off with another card and another off and another card, like it just keeps going deeper and deeper, and sends them down a spiral, and that's a big pain point for them. So you're leading with that with your headline, right? And then later on, you're talking through your body copy, your sales page and whatnot, start getting to the call to actions and the add to carts, or sign up for the service or the monthly membership that we're pitching, or, book a call right now about how to talk to one of our accountants or CPAs so we can help you with your taxes and with your credit card or whatever it may be for your vertical. Like I said, it really varies and depends on your industry, but there are fundamentals that keep going strong for every industry and every business vertical that you can really figure out. So whatever niche you're in, you are able to like use these formulaic fundamentals, right? And you can actually make a sales page that you lead through with your email, and you start hitting people with more follow-ups, and then you keep sending them back to that valuable video, which is both educating and edutaining, basically, which means educational and entertaining, right? So you see how these things are starting to really work together and get very strong. And this is the way that you build an email list up, because you are giving them more and more unique perspectives, and then it's all for free and they don't have to do anything else. But when they want to take it a deeper level, then it's time to buy. It's time to buy into your brand and get into your company and your audience and your community. And they do that by being on the list that's valuable to them through the email list that you've built, right? So these things really stack up on each other, and that's why we're doing this 5-step formula breakdown, because then you can understand how to do it step by step and which point you might need to focus on more. And then and I'm going to cover each one very in depth with the videos that are in this card. And so yeah, if you are liking this content and you're taking notes, hopefully, and if you're still here, like, congratulations for you, because you have a better attention span than most people. But if you're taking notes, go ahead and smash the crap out of the like button and obliterate it and really hurt its feelings by clicking on it too hard, because that really helps everything grow. And then subscribe for more content videos on this stuff, because this is going to be the exact topic that we're going to flesh out over the next several weeks. So let's move on to number 4, my friend, and we're moving on to the engagement. And basing on the interest, we're going to be segmenting every person who's on this list into a pool of smaller lists that are very hyper relevant and targeted. All right, so quick little recap, right? We got number 1, we got our lead magnet. Number 2, we've already given them educational value that is also entertaining or edutaining, right? Number 3, we have already started peppering in our offers, and we're ready to sell products and we're ready to grow our business, right? Number 4 is we are segmenting. So when you're segmenting, you are actually creating something that is a segmented list that makes up all your lists, right? So you have a big list, maybe it's 20,000 people, and then you have like a little list here that's 5,000, a little list that's like 300, and another list that's maybe 2,200 or something, right? And you are actually crafting these smaller lists because you don't want to just blast everyone with the same thing. So this is the process of also weeding out for quality, and it's for engagement too. So those two things, engagement and quality, and I mean quality of leads. So some of these actual providers like Klaviyo and whatnot will actually provide you with the quality lead scoring. And ActiveCampaign, I believe, does this too on specific plans. So the CRMs that you have available to you in the market and the offerings are very, very in depth, because you can score the leads based on how recent they open the emails, how many emails they open from you, what their percentage of open rates are, right? What their click-through rates, who's the most engaged, who bought most, who bought from your emails. Like, these are super valuable insights that you really want to know as a marketer for direct response, to get that direct response from each person and know who's not that great and maybe put them on our other list, right? So if someone, for instance, is very engaged and they open every single email from you from the first indoctrination sequence, and then you go through your other segmentation sequences. Like, I've written for clients, like some of them are back end like 20, 30, 40 emails for like months of content. And these are some of my higher ticket programs, like 5 or 10 grand or more. And those are the ones that are like really building out the back end. Plus I'm helping them with the lead magnet and the splash page and the front end sales letter, or VSL. So that's like the whole funnel that I help build out for clients. But I've written these sequences that go 20, 30, 40 emails, and they're just months and months of edutaining content that is for their brand, for their audience, for their prospects. And so I know what I'm talking about with this stuff, because I've actually done it. And this is what you will be doing as well, or having a copywriter do it for yourself, for your brand. but you want to actually craft something that's going to be engaging long term for them. And then if they start to fall off, like a lot of people have done this, like, or talked about this, like Andre Chaperon and Derek Johansson, other copywriters and whatnot, the SOS series, like the soap opera sequence series, basically, where you're creating a whole story and series and all these, like, you know, shows that kind of like mini sitcoms, if you will, that feed into your larger brand. There's a whole strategy of how to do this. Russell Brunson talks a lot about this in ClickFunnels. So there's all of these types of things that you can do to engage people long-term with content, education, and value, and stories and products that are very, very powerful stuff, because you want to actually, sometimes you can see the open rates go up over a customer's lifetime for that, right? So that is a unique approach, but most people aren't doing it. They're just blasting people with newsletters or updates and stuff that's boring and nobody cares about. And this is the way that you actually shift your perspective on that. So that's like a ninja tip. So just keep that in the back of your mind, and we'll talk about it later in this video, which is like number 4, where we go really deep in it. But for now, let's say you got one person, and, you know, John, like, and John opens like all 5 of your first video emails, right? And they shoot to videos or lead magnets or PDFs or something that you're educating them, or maybe blog posts, right? And he loves it and all that. He writes all of them, and he opens every single one like twice or 3 times, and then eventually John gets a little bit more disengaged and is kind of bored, and, or, you know, isn't really recognizing that he's, you know, part of this market, right? Or maybe he just actually is becoming way more busy in his work or whatever, right? But if John starts to fall off, then his lead score will go down and his quality will go down as a lead, because he's really not that interested in even engaging with your free content and like following up on what you're providing them. So if he's not even doing that, then how is he going to buy from you? How is he going to give you something of value, which is tangible cash and money from your product that you're serving him with, right? And the answer is, of course, he's not, because he's just not engaged. So eventually, if he starts falling off, then you want to weed out John and put others like him on a list that's a little bit less engaged. Maybe you follow up with him every couple months or once a month or whatever, and then slower and slower, you know, you just kind of weed them out with longer distances between your contacts. So that's a very, you know, smart and powerful and efficient way to actually do this. You can do this automatically with all these providers. We can go really deep into that if you'd like. But essentially, you don't want to just give John like the same type of offers as everyone else. So this is the whole purpose of segmenting. You want to put people like John on a different list, but people like maybe Brandy, like Brandy's super engaged with your content. She opened all 5 content emails of the first, you know, Indoctrination Sequence, or 3 or whatever you had. She read every word of your lead magnet. She watched all your videos, and then eventually you start peppering in these offers. And then Brandy was seeing your sales page like 5 times because she couldn't decide if she wanted to buy. So she kept clicking and clicking and clicking, and like on different points, maybe on her work break or whatever, right? But she visited your site like 5 times. So that's a very hot lead right there. She's very interested in what you're selling. And Brandy, you want to move her to a list that might be very interested in a certain vertical or products that you're trying to sell related to that. And this goes doubly true to if Brandy actually bought the product that you were selling on your first kind of pitch email. And a little rule of thumb to that as well. I really would like to give maybe 2 or 3 pieces of valuable things for free in education and edutainment, to just give them that, and then eventually after that you're ready to start pitching. You know, you don't have to wait like 50 emails to start giving your first sales pitch or whatever. Like, you're doing such soft pitches that you're giving this away, and you're giving a lot of front loading value, and people love it. People give you the goodwill and the rapport that you have with the audience. After 2 or 3 emails, like, you're ready to start selling, as long as you're not cramming things down the throat and trying to just give them products and like, buy this, you need to have it, like all that crap. But you do need to just do the soft sell and just be able to give them, you know, value by solving their problem, because really this is what business and capitalism is about. It's like solving problems for money. That's a simple equation, right? So you've already given her stuff, and then after 2 or 3, when she's open, engaged, and she's like looking to get more from you, then you can pepper in some product offers. So a little tip is like, don't wait, you know, 50 years to do that whole thing. Like, you can start offering people things, you know, because you're a business. Like, that's what people do. People expect it, especially when you front load with the value, right? So let's say Brandy bought your first product. You would bring Brandy onto the other list of like super engaged, not only leads, but buyers. So this is the 2 things that you really need to separate lists with for forever, always. Like, sear this into your brain. Like, you need leads and you need buyers lists, right? So you don't want to just have everybody in the same thing, where it's like all your contacts and a bunch of people who have bought, but then people who have not bought, and then other people like John who are really just bored and like who haven't even opened an email in like 3 months. You don't want all those people in the same soup, right? The same bowl, right? You want buyers lists and lead lists. So when you have a buyers list, those are the people who buy. You move them onto a different list. You can pepper them with new offers, because of an old lead who is engaged again, or an old buyer who is engaged again, will be very likely to buy something quickly after, usually quickly after you sell them something. Like, a lot of people do this upsells like on the same day, and they say, thanks for buying, here's the other thing, and then the literal next page for the thank you page is a new upsell, you know, so and then they say no to that, maybe you send them to a downsell or a cross sell, you know, it's whatever. You have to really be very strategic with this stuff, and if you're not, then you really don't know how to move people to the next level with you and take the next step with you. And so you're hitting John with a bunch of offers, kind of like banging him over the head with like a pot, and people are like, he's like, just leave me alone. Then he unsubscribes, right? That's not what you want. But Brandy, you want to hit her with other new offers and be like, oh, thank you so much for buying this. Like, would you be also interested in the thing that also kind of like goes onto this, you know, like an adds onto this, whatever? Like maybe you're selling something for your own branding packages, and it's like something that clients can go use. And like today, they can just take your assets and start using them in your own branding. Like let's say if you're helping branding and graphic design experts get better at their craft or something, right? Then you'd be like, well, thank you for buying the base package. Would you also like 200 extra templates that can help you with the new logo creation? Yeah, she's gonna be like, probably, you know, like it's very, very highly likely, especially if she just bought from you, especially if she just bought from you recently, then Brandy's gonna buy something else very, very soon. She may not buy it on the next page, but if you have her on that segmented list, she's gonna be very interested in that product offering, right? So I'm gonna keep this brief and whatnot, but like I said, in the number 4 video, and then we're in step number 4, I'm gonna give you this breakdown for the card. So just click that card, you'll be able to, if it's not up yet, it will be, just be patient. I'm gonna keep it brief there and wrap it up there, but essentially what you wanna have is buyers list, lead list, and you wanna have people who are in different segments on each of those lists. So you'd cut it in half. Here's your leads, here's your buyers, and you wanna have your leads over here with a little satellites and whatnot of different lists, maybe smaller, 400 or 500 or whatever, and then make up the bigger lead list. And then you have your buyers list over here, where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 little lists about like, this is your product, this is also some other offering that you have, and this is a list based on, you know, some different interest that's totally not you know, analogous to what you're working on now, right? So you have those all making up your buyers list. So that's what you want to have. That's your full email list. So when people say email list, everybody really gets confused. Like, you know, you have 100,000 people and you're just selling them the same thing. That's not really how you do it. So this is how you scale, and this is how you actually separate people based on their segmentation and their interests, and also their engagement, how well they're doing with your brand. So let's move on to the last step, which is step 5, about basically how to use these buyers and lead lists, and basically how to offer them things that are valuable to them, and to give them things that are solutions to their problem. And this is how you use your buyers and your lead lists to really be profitable in your business. And this is the last step, because this is what you're using your long-term email list for. So let's jump into that now. All right, so congratulations to getting 5 steps. This is a long form video, so you're a trooper for sticking with it, and I'm glad you're really serious about like actually elevating your copy game. Again, like I said, if you are working on this whole, you know, step-by-step breakdown with your notes, it's a great idea to actually be able to leverage those things later. I'm not just speaking for, you know, whatever to teach you copy and just go away and have a nice day. Like, this is the stuff that you could actually use to build your business and have the most important asset in your business, in your lead list, which is your audience and your email list, in a tangible way to be able to hit them over and over with valuable offers. So again, thank you for making it for this far. I'm surprised because most people have very, very small attention spans. So if you're this far, click like, click subscribe, click share, click comment. Like, make sure you're engaging with this brand and basically asking any questions you have in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them and when I get back to it. But if you're liking and subscribing, there's much more content to come. And also, there is basically the whole entire 5-step formula that I'm breaking down here. I'm going to be going over in one video and dedicating one video to each one of these steps. And you know, obviously, if you do this, it's going to help the brand grow, and then it gives, you know, me more time to allocate to this brand to be able to give you these videos like this. So yeah, do that. I'll wait, and I don't have a watch on, but I'll pretend, and then I'll just be counting down the clocks till you click those like. So, okay. All right. So thanks for hitting that. So let's move on to number 5, which is basically crafting the long-term value and the long-term segmentation and the lists that are the maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 sometimes emails. And you don't have to do it like this, but it's a great way to start when you have the long-term focus on your clients and your audience and giving them value long-term, free and paid. You know, your paid would be your products and your solutions. The free stuff is like your content, like your blog posts and your videos, whatever, white papers, PDFs, you know, video training courses and tutorials and things like that, right? This is really how you engage with them, how you build a brand, how you make sure that your audience is long-term engaged rather than just some fleeting interest in whatever and then they're gone or bounce or unsubscribe, right? Essentially, this is the long-term focus on your kind of building on number 3, where you had the, or number 2 rather, where you had the polarizing indoctrination sequence that ties you and them together with great rapport, and you front load that goodwill value, and then also, you know, you repel the people who are not that interested in whatnot, because you're selling things for certain specific people, and you are not selling things that are to people who are not interested in them. So there's really no point to like keep hammering home and benefits and pain points with people that you have, like advertising your solutions, who don't care about you, aren't into your brand, and also really aren't your target market, you know? So when you're thinking about this and crafting this, and like I said, I've crafted these and tracked and delivered and edited all these emails for these clients, like some of my higher ticket 5K, 10K packages that are long-term for these people. I mean, it's got content, value, story, education, products, pitches, services, webinars, videos, like it goes on and on. I want you to grasp the actual depth of this because this is what you're providing for your people on a long-term basis. And I don't mean sending them 2,000 word blog posts in every email. Like, don't do that. I mean, like, keeping, usually the rule of thumb here is like, and I learned this from Ben Settle because I think this is actually really valuable. I think this is really powerful because if you're able to do 300 words and you limit yourself to your copy for 300 or 400 words roughly, I usually say 500 personally, but I actually like Ben Settle's 300 like rule, right? The rule of thumb, whatever. Like, he's obviously killing the email game. If you don't know, definitely check it out. Hop on his list, very valuable one, every single day. You know, he says basically you should just, you know, email your list every single day, which a lot of people done, and they got a lot of great results with it. So it's really up to you. It depends on your list and your offer and all that stuff, right? Like I said before, but I personally like to stick to 500 or less because it is a little bit longer, so you can tell a greater story. You can do a lot of educational value. You can give the pitches in there. You can do your soft sales, but you are basically giving them something that is like, here you go. Like, read all of this and do whatever, and you're not giving them some huge manuscript where they're like, oh God, like they look at that and they're just like a huge wall of text with paragraphs. Like, don't do that. Like, you can do that on your sales letters and whatnot. You can keep thousands of words. Some of the letters that I've seen that convert are like, and I've written myself are 10,000 words or something. Like, that can work for an offer that's expensive, but emails, like, that's not what you do. So remember to keep it brief, short, punchy, great copy that delivers the message and tells a story, and it's engaging and emotional, and it's a solution to the problem, and you are shooting them over to some type of web page or some offer or something on your call to actions when it's time to sell products, or maybe you're just updating them with your weekly newsletter and giving them a new blog post, or telling them something about your event that you had and like how they can get signed up for the next one for free or whatever, right? There's all types of different things you can do for this, but you're going to be doing this by crafting these emails that go out over and over, and they're automated, and you automate the entire segment. And I'm going to break it down in the 5th video, right? Like I said, with this in the card in the corner, but this is, you know, this is the bulk of what you're doing. This is like the 80% of the 20%, you know. This is the 80% of you telling stories and giving valuable content and doing pitches and showing off your products and like basically giving people testimonials from products and doing case studies for other clients that you've helped, showing all the stories of other customers, and like every time you get a write-in of like some good response for someone who had a great product experience with you guys, then you're going to be giving that story away right now. You can kind of make it into a marketable piece. People get value from that because they see that guy or gal who is just like me, who lost 20 pounds or who got out of debt, or who made their own their own company from scratch, or who built an e-commerce product, or who filled a need in the market in the affiliate space, or whatever it is. Like, you're giving them that breakdown of someone who did it, you know, and you're showing the story, and that's like another example of the pieces that you can really give on a long-term basis that really gives people like excited and engaged and riled up for your brand, which is very, very important long-term, because you want engagement, interest, you want action, and you want to remember to have the call to action every time to give them something else, or offer them something else, or sell them something else, or get them to sign up so they can take the next step with your brand. And again, like we said in the beginning, go from that top of the funnel to the middle of the funnel where you're nurturing them. This is that stage to get more and more to the bottom of the funnel where your offers get more expensive, more valuable, more in-depth, and more time committed, because you're giving them bespoke situations, or you're giving them bespoke solutions, or things that they can use consistently that are maybe higher ticket packages or products that are more expensive or whatever. And that's the space to do that. And this is how you do it when you're using like the buyer's list and the lead list separated, and you're giving them like unique, hyper focused, targeted value that is very engaging for them, because it's exactly what they want, and it's exactly what they want to learn in your brand. So that is what we got for this long form piece of content for this email list. Like, this is how you build an email list start to finish, like A to Z. This is all you really need. If you focus on these type of things, I promise you will get so much better results. And I'm going to break down, like I said before many times in this video, like the top left card, top right card you can see. And if they're not there yet, again, they will be. They're getting dripped, so just be patient on that. But watch this one for the whole breakdown overview, right, for this whole email list series. But this is the 5-step formula that you really need. very efficient and simple, right? So you basically need to, for an overview, you need to give them a lead magnet. You need to indoctrinate them to who you are and your brand. You need to segment them and make sure that you get them, actually testing like your offers and sales and approaches. You also need to segment them based on the interest and the engagement. Start giving your upsells, downsells, click-throughs, and making sure that you are consistently pitching the products and whatnot. And then number 5 is the long-term value game, the long-term engagement, content, subscriptions, stories, management. Like this is the place where you are just, this is the long back end of your brand while you're nurturing those people in the middle of the funnel and keeping to move them onto the bottom of the funnel and then move them onto the different lists as soon as they buy a certain different product that gets, then pushed onto a different list, which will help them, pepper them with more offers to like take the next step with you, right? And so we're going to be diving a lot deeper in like how to do this stuff in each one of these videos, like how to drive the traffic, like how to build the list, how to manage it, how to write some of these emails. I'll give you some examples as well for my samples and my personal portfolio for clients. I've made sure that the details are private for each client, so we won't be able to see like who it was or what offer it was, but I'll show you basically the structure and the offer and the messaging that I'm using and different things like that. I'll do the whole walkthrough in each one of those videos. It'll be super powerful and valuable for you because this is kind of the intro and this is the overview and this is how to build an email list from zero. But yeah, this is essentially what you need to do each step, and I'll go deeper in each one of those levels. So thank you guys for tuning in for this. If you're here, I'm super proud of you. I'm super shocked. Honestly, like I said, most people have a squirrel level attention span. And if you're here, then you are a trooper. I hope you took notes. I hope you liked and subscribed the video and smashed the crap out of the like button so it's broken and just break YouTube. And yeah, this is what helps grow the brand, like I said, and be able to circulating a lot more about people who are interested in like yourself. So share the video with people who are interested, and leave a comment below if you have a specific question about building an email list. And yeah, for more content, just stay tuned. If they're not ready, they will be. They'll be dripping those videos. So stay tuned to those, each one of the really, really deep dives of the steps that I'm covering for this email list process and this formula. So once again, it's Evan from Motive Motion. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for being here, and I appreciate you. So good luck on your copywriting journey. There's much more to come. And the subscribers that are actually hitting the bell will be able to get notified first with the brand new exclusive content that I have coming out. So with that said, that's all I've got for you. Have a great day. Peace. And so I got one more thing for you that I think you'll find really valuable. So the last thing that I wanted to sum up this with is the fact that I put a very special thing together for you specifically, and it's an information product that will teach you a lot about copywriting, especially if you're a beginner. It teaches you a lot about how to actually choose your market, how to research them, how to get into your demo, psychographics, and what I've created called the Evo graphics, which is a sort of an influential state and an influential and persuasive method for attracting your clients and converting them very predictably. That I call Evo graphics. It's based on evolutionary psychology, which is basically teaching you how to channel certain desires that every single market has, and it's a good baseline. It's kind of like a catch-all for understanding human psychology as a general whole and then being able to act upon that knowledge. So I'm going to flash an image on the screen right here, but basically what I call it is the ultimate copywriting guide to selling anything online. And it's really a cheap product. It's like a very beginner's manual thing, but it's a book, and the first chapter of the book that is actually demonstrated in this information product. But also I'm giving you a lot of different bonuses in terms of like if you're selling on e-commerce, I'm giving you something called my proprietary profit and conversion system that will help you research, understand your market, how to write, how to craft new letters, how to craft ads and product descriptions that really convert. And also giving you the idea when you're targeting a new market on how to speak to them, how to really go deep on their psychology. And the other thing that I'm throwing up here is the Evo Graphics Guidebook, which is showing you something very special in terms of starting from ground zero and understanding behavioral economics and game theory, and how they basically intertwine in terms of when people are making decisions and especially buying decisions. So that's what I wanted to clue you guys in on. This product has been running in the background for a very long time now, so probably 2 or 3 years, but it's gotten a lot of good reviews and a lot of good feedback from a lot of brand new copywriters who really just want to get in the game. And I'm pretty much taking you onto a new level with a very like low friction, easy decision making process to give you a big leg up so you can understand how to get really good at your copy in a very short amount of time without doing a whole lot of effort and a lot of years of practice and trials and errors and a lot of failures, to be honest. Because when I'm working through this copy for several years, the first start that I had, I was really just, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to write copy. I didn't know how to target my audience. I didn't know how to speak to them in a manner that they actually responded to. I didn't know how to do the research. I didn't know how to make an offer, how to craft a compelling sales message or email or ad or anything. I didn't know anything about funnels or marketing or strategy or any of that. So like, I'm just giving you the keys to the kingdom in one succinct, easy guidebook that you can understand quickly and digest the information and go out and use it. And it's not super long. It's not crazy. You're not going to spend, 20 hours reading this product and digesting it. It's very quick on the uptake. You are able to read it once, give it a good gloss over, come back to it kind of as a library and a resource to help you write better copy. And the profit conversion system straight up is like templates. Like you're taking this out of thin air and actually understanding how to pull out a headline that speaks to your audience relatively quickly. And I give a lot of different templates inside the book as well. So you'll be able to understand and see and apply, most importantly, the headlines and the subheads and the angles and the hooks and things that are very powerful for reeling in the customer that you want to attract off of your copy, and that you are getting them to make a decision that you have outlined in your ideas and your strategy, which is generally to buy the product or to buy the service, or to opt in or get you picking up the phone and calling you and whatnot. Because this is the direct response fundamentals. This is the basics. So with all that said, this whole video I've crafted just for you so you can understand how to craft a very powerful direct response copy, ad, letter, email, marketing funnel, some piece of the funnel that is going to convert new clients into customers and paying clients. You don't get that experience until you actually do the copy and you put it into the market, you write it, you edit it yourself, you polish it, you publish it. And then you see what happens with your copy and how people are using it, the feedback you're getting, the conversions it's getting or not, how to split test, how to run it. And this is kind of like a guidebook to get you up and running like ASAP, because without wasting any time. And so it's not full of theory. It's not stuff that you're just going to learn and like tuck away in your pocket for the next 10 years. Like, it's stuff that you can look at it and write, and look at it and write, and refer to it and learn and write and imply it. That is the way that you're going to be learning and actually doing something that makes a difference in people's lives in terms of the customers, the clients that you're serving. And so again, I'm going to throw that picture up right quick, and you can see exactly kind of what is in this process and what's in the program. And again, like I said, it's very low friction, very easy to start with this program and this product. It's very cheap, and really it's a steal, and you get a lot of benefits in terms of like up leveling your copy in a very authentic, natural, and fast way. And you can kind of shortcut my own learning curves and take all the things that I failed upon and just improve and actually be very good at copy in a very quick time frame, rather than take the slow grind up the huge hill and just not kind of know where you're starting, because that's how everyone starts. So I would say, do this quick shortcut, get a level up, like learn from my learning curve. Don't make all of your own mistakes because you don't have to. Don't set yourself back 6 months when you could just get a leg up. And basically go check that below. You will just click the link. You'll be on my site in a jiff, and you will love the product. And if it's not for you, it's totally understandable, but this is something that can really help your life and help your marketing copy and help you earn money from anywhere, earn from your laptop, work from anywhere in the world like I do, travel around the world, do whatever you want to do with your life. And by using one specific skill set that's arguably the most important and valid and powerful skill set in online marketing that there is today, that is direct response copywriting. So click the link. I'll put a card here as well so you can check that out. And yeah, man, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace. Next time, Evan from Motive in Motion. See you.